Ray Bradbury was born in 1920 and grew up in Illinois during the Great Depression. As a child, he fell in love with reading and devoured pulp science fiction magazines such as Amazing Stories. When he was a teenager, he began to try his hand at writing his own stories, the first of which, Holler-Bachen's Dilemma, was published in a small magazine called Imagine. When he was 19, Bradbury began publishing his own fan magazine with the lofty title Futuria Fantasia. Because his family was too poor to send him to college, Bradbury embarked upon a plan to educate himself by reading as much as he could at public libraries. He became hooked on Edgar Allan Poe's horror stories and the fantasy and science fiction of Edgar Rice Burroughs, well known as the creator of Tarzan. In 1950, with the publication of his collection of short stories, The Martian Chronicles, Bradbury broke into the mainstream. The stories in The Martian Chronicles are loosely tied together and tell the story of humans immigrating to Mars and eventually displacing the Martians after Earth is destroyed by nuclear war. There Will Come Soft Rains, which had first been published in Collier's magazine, appears as one of the final stories in The Martian Chronicles, and it describes a house still standing, quote, alone in a city of rubble and ashes, after a nuclear holocaust. The family has all been killed, their images burned on wood in one titanic instant. Eerily, the technological devices still hum on, with the only sign of life, a skeletal dog, who runs hysterically yelping to each door, looking for his family before he, too, dies. In There Will Come Soft Rains, Bradbury expresses the overarching fear of his time, nuclear war between the United States and the Soviet Union. His distrust of technology in general, or we could say at least his fear that humans will abuse technology, is a motif that also appears in his second collection of stories, The Illustrated Man. And here is a nod to The Illustrated Man in this cell from a Simpson episode. From left to right, we have H.P. Lovecraft, Edgar Allan Poe, and Ray Bradbury, with Homer at the very end to the right as the Illustrated Man. I thought that was kind of interesting. Of course, no discussion of Bradbury would be complete, though, without mentioning Fahrenheit 451, which is often assigned to high school students. Published in 1953, it is a dystopian vision of an America where books are banned and then burned. The novel is often used as a cautionary tale against censorship. Bradbury's popularity never waned, and in the mid-1980s he even produced the Ray Bradbury Theater, which I can remember first running on HBO, and it was later rebroadcast on other channels. Bradbury wrote all 65 episodes, many of which were based on his short stories, and it is always a treat to catch one on a retro TV station. Before he died at the age of 91, Bradbury had written more than 600 stories that crossed a variety of genres and touched on numerous themes. As critic Bennett Lovett Graff wrote, despite Bradbury's association in the public mind with science fiction, he has shown himself far too ambitious to be limited to a single genre. A closer reading of much of his fiction will reveal tales that are, for all intents and purposes, exemplars of light realist fiction.